But first, I'm happy to welcome Amelia Barrett, who is here to tell us more about College Theater's production of The Uninvited. Welcome, Amelia.
Thank you.
So, can you tell everybody about what the show's about? Just a little.
So, if you were going to do a film of this play, it would be film noir.
Okay.
And it's a ghost story, and it was actually one of the first ghost story movies that they ever made. Everyone thinks, if you read the lore of it, that was extremely frightening. But I think now, today, in 2023, while we're going to do it in period, so we're sitting in 1935, it is unnerving, but to me it's more of a love story. And it's a love story of these ghosts that love this girl.
Okay.
That was their daughter. And she loves her mother. And so they're being put at peace, and she's being put at peace. And the house can't be put at peace until everything is settled. So it is a ghost story, but I think it's a love story too.
But it's not scary?
Well,
is it scary or no?
It's not like scary, like terrifying. It's scary, like unnerving.
Okay.
Because things
suspenseful?
Suspenseful.
Okay.
And you don't know where things are coming from, and is that your imagination, and what's that smell, and what's that out of the corner of my eye? But you never really see anything.
So how big is a cast?
What do I have? 11.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And it's in 1935.
1935.
And so, is it about a girl? Is it about the parents?
So
is it about their death? Or
it's a little bit of all of it. It's sort of this really well-made play from. It was based on a novel, and it takes place in the English seaside. And a sort of bon vivant literary critic and his sister, who's gutsy, decide that they want to move from London to the seaside. So they've been looking, and they can't afford anything, and they find this incredible place for like no money, and they can't figure out why. So they befriend this young girl, and it was her family's home. They've had it for 5 generations, and she's been forbid to come into this place by her grandfather because
it's haunted.
It's haunted. And so she takes them, and they fall in love with it immediately, and they settle.
So she goes in?
She goes in.
Okay.
And she keeps visiting.
Oh, even when the new people live there?
Yes, and they become friends.
It's like that new TV show. What's that news TV series about this haunted house these people buy? And,
I don't know.
It's a nightmare. Interesting. Was this ever a TV series by chance?
No, but it was a movie.
Okay.
With Ray Milland.
Because people have told me, I've seen the movie, I love the movie, I can't wait to see this.
It's wonderful.
So I need to watch the movie. And
It's the kind of old time film and plays that I love. I mean, it's just super well made. It's 3 acts, and there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and they have a seance, and they have an actress that's a friend of theirs who gets possessed, and then they have a friend who's a painter, and they have an Irish sort of like, it's their maid, but she's like their nanny that takes care of them.
I have to ask, because you were an actress, if you could play any part, which one would you play?
Oh, I would play always the evil. Always the evil.
Really?
Yes, they're the most fun.
So who's the evil?
So there's this woman that was sort of insinuating that she was best friends with her mother. And when her mother passed away, which I'm not giving anything away, it's pretty soon into the play that you find that out, took care of the young girl whose name is Stella.
Okay.
And it's clear that this woman doesn't really like Stella. and she has a rest home of some kind that she wants to take her off to, like an asylum kind of thing. So that's totally who I would play.
That's fun. I wish you would do a show again. You're so good.
Thank you.
Are you going to do a show again?
Someday.
Someday?
Someday.
And then what else do you have planned for College Theater that's happening?
So we have Curious Incident of the Dog of the Nighttime that's about to open this week on Thursday, for 3 weeks. And that's lovely, and we're doing that in the Studio Theater. And then Uninvited will open right after spring break. And then we'll have auditions in April for the summer. So we're doing Once Upon a Mattress, which is
fabulous.
A great, like, late 1950s play, musical.
Didn't Sarah Jessica Parker star in
the
it?
revival, like 1995 or something like that.
So I saw it on Broadway with her, not knowing that was her.
Because she transformed that much?
She did, and then halfway into it, I'm like, I know her. I know the voice. I know the something, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you know?
Didn't she get her start in Annie? I think she's like a big musical theater person.
Oh, she is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I always remember like the Carol Burnett special from when I was little that they had, like, I don't know, in black and white on Channel 9 or something.
I love that show. It's very funny.
It is very funny, and it's real girl power. So we're doing that.
And that will be this year in the Belushi, in the big theater, which will be fun.
That'll be awesome for them.
And the auditions, if anybody in the community, so I don't think everybody understands how this works. Anybody can be in the show. You can audition if you're sitting at home and you're really have the theater bug and always wanted to be in a show. And then if you get cast, then you just have to sign up for the class.
Right.
Because it is a class.
The production itself is a class, and it's called rehearsal and performance because
that's all it is.
You rehearse and you perform, and all of the things that go on with that, particularly in a musical.
And do you have to take a test?
No.
Okay. So
well, you have to audition. That, I guess, is a test.
But you don't have to study or take a test. You just have to be a good actor.
Yeah, you have to know your lines and your choreography,
right.
The music.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of extra work for a musical, a lot of extra work for a straight show too.
Sure.
Like Uninvited, they're having to do.
But
all
it's
sorts
about
of
being
dialect.
an actor in a show,
right? And learning all that stuff.
But I think sometimes people think it's just for the students, and anybody can audition for this.
Yes, and then you are a student because you have to sign up for the class.
Right.
And we do that during the year too. Mm-hmm. And then if you're somebody who's younger than 16, you can apply for early admission and be in the show.
Oh, really? Oh, well, yeah, Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm. Well, those kids didn't even have to do that.
So do they get credit?
Mm-hmm. In fact, we've met a lot of our students later that started off when they were juniors in high school or seniors in high school and came and auditioned for either the family show, which is our improv show that Daniel Millhouse is directing, called, oh shoot, I looked at it before I came in. Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow. Okay. About the tortoise and the hare, which tours all over the county for families. And but we've had high school students in those shows or in the musical. I think last year I had 2 or 3.
Good.
And it's a wonderful experience. The kids become so close. I shouldn't say kids. The students become so close with each other. You spend so many hours together too, creating this wonderful thing. And so, I mean, it's a really positive experience.
It is. And I think sometimes there's a lot of people in the community who would love to perform. And you get to perform on great sets with beautiful costumes, and you have a really good experience. And it's a way to get involved.
It's a wonderful way to get involved. And you wouldn't believe how many people you get to know then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so many people, well, because they see you too. Mm-hmm. You go to the grocery store and they're like, hey, I saw you and blah, blah, blah. Or people wave to you, like, I wonder how I know you. I don't know. But they know you. They feel like they spent time with you. And when we had 2 students that are high school students that were in SpongeBob, the musical, last summer, and they came to see Christmas Carol just to support because they were home for Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
I know. So it wasn't just that one show. Now they're part of the community.
Well, and I think too, if you do have a junior or senior who likes to perform and they didn't get in their high school show or something, it's a great way to transition into college and get to know some people. Because they really are a family. Those kids are tight.
They are very tight. And I always kid around with them because it's a commuter school. So I'm like, of course you're hanging out here because you're not going to drive an hour to go to someone else's house who lives an hour that way.
Right.
So all of the extra time they spend here is creating community. So, and then when you transfer into your 4-year university, look at the great things that you're bringing on your resume.
Exactly.
Which a lot of those native students, maybe, sorry everybody, wouldn't have because you were a freshman or a sophomore auditioning.
It's true.
Against, seniors. And so you wouldn't get those roles that you got here, and now you're bringing them there.
And I think, our students do really well. Our theater students do very well.
Yes,
We've had a lot of success.
They transfer very well because, pat us on the back that I feel like we have terrific adjunct professors and really good, full-time faculty that are that are training them from the get-go and really say, this is it. And who love them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's I ran into somebody yesterday that had been a former student of mine who now has kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, I guess it's been a long time that I've been here now. But I mean, I see everybody in the community. Well, I teach 150 people a semester, so I go to Home Depot. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing and letting us know. It's very exciting.
It is.
Be sure to catch The Uninvited opening April 6th. For tickets or more information, visit atthemac.org.